Yeah, this on back with Pia chapter 27. Orphan. With her heart in her throat, Pia followed Rebecca along the trash litter alleyway, hoping they didn't have too much further to go. It was early. It was early evening. The night is still and moist with coming rain, and a waning moon dim behind the gathering clouds. A train whistle sound in the distance, hollow and lonely soundings. Here and there lights burned behind row houses' curtains, and a chorus of conversation, laughter, shouting, and the teeny music of a phonograph floated out from half-open windows. Nerves churned in Pia's stomach, and she prayed she and Finn weren't being led on a wild goose chase. 5 years was a long time. Nurse Wallace could have moved to another building or another city or another state, and what was Pia going to do if she found her? How was she going to make her admit to taking Ollie and Max? Tie her up, threaten her, call the police? More importantly, what was she going to do if this turned out to be another dead end? She wasn't sure she could handle another disappointment, not when it felt like they were so close. How much further, she asked Rebecca. It seemed like they walked halfway across the city. We're almost here, Rebecca said. Just one more block. Pia glanced back at Finn, who shrugged and urged her to keep going. Rebecca had been more than willing to help, perhaps to make amends in some small way for what she'd done. But that didn't mean she remembered how to get to the right building. And what would Dr. and Mr. Hudson think if they knew she and Finn were with Rebecca instead of going for an evening stroll like they said? She felt bad for the white lie, but wanted to make sure Rebecca could really help before telling them the truth about her. At the end of the alley, they turned left, walked around another block, and crossed a busy thoroughfare. Pia had no idea what neighborhood they were in, but it was nicer than South Philly. Buildings lined the street with thick stone steps leading up to each door. Men in wool coats and women in wide-brimmed hats walked side by side along the sidewalk, which was swept clean of litter and trash. How was Nurse Wallace able to afford living in such a nice area by selling babies? At the corner, Rebecca finally stopped and pointed at a brick building across the road. That's it, she said. When I first got here, she was outside with an older couple and two little boys. She kissed the boys goodbye, then the older couple put them in a pram like they were taking them for a walk. After they left, she took me up to her apartment and gave me the package. Pia heart pounded hard in her chest. She hadn't told Rebecca about Ollie and Max, only that it was vital she find Nurse Wallace. Did you say two little boys? Yes, Rebecca said. How old do you think they were? Rebecca shrugged. I'm not sure, maybe 6 or 8 months. They were bundled up in hats and coats, so I didn't get a good look. The sidewalk swayed beneath Pia's feet, and she grabbed Finn's arm to keep from falling. It sounded like Nurse Wallace might have kept Ollie and Max. She might not have sold them after all. They might still be here in Philadelphia in that very building. She tried to find her voice. Did they look like twins? She managed to say. Rebecca screwed up her mouth, thinking, yeah, I guess so, although one seemed a little bigger than the other. Pia's heart felt like it might explode. Ollie was 2 minutes older than Max, and he'd always been taller and heavier. Rebecca had to be talking about them. She had to be. Seeing Nurse Wallace with two little boys was too much of a coincidence. Let's go, she said, and marched across the street towards the brick building. Rebecca and Finn followed. What are you going to do? Finn said, trying to keep up. I'm going to knock on the door and I'm going to ask where my brother's at. Pia said, well, if she doesn't live here anymore, what if she don't live here anymore? Finn said, well, I'm not going to find out by standing here on this sidewalk. What are you talking about? Rebecca said. Did Nurse Wallace take your brothers too? Yes, Pia said, keeping her eyes straight ahead. She didn't have the time to explain, and I'll be back in a few.